Uber teen.
Uber teen. Yeah, I got this in my app. They came to California, Chris. Finally, they did.
Finally,
Okay.
I thought you would be. I didn't think you'd want to be saying finally.
No. I know I opted out already. But then when this showed up, I looked at my app. It was already turned on. So people, if you don't want to do it, they're giving you a chance to opt out. Go to your preferences. And on the bottom, there is like 2 toggle switches. You can opt out of both Uber Eats for teens and Uber Rides for teens. You just turn it off and you're out. However, I'm taking bets now. I was part of a Spaces chat on X yesterday, Chris. You remember how it used to be like Uber X? Shared World used to be separate. Uber Comfort used to be separate. Uber X used to be separate. All preference boxes, right? Now what? They're all in one box now. What are the odds Uber puts this in that box, maybe in 6 months or less?
Probable.
Yeah,
but
I'm betting on
the good thing though is, one, acceptance rate doesn't matter, and two, you can filter out those requests. The stupid thing is them letting you or them actually putting it all into one spot, because if you don't want to take a certain category, then it's just going to come to you, and it's actually going to bog the system down, whether it's 5-10 seconds or whatever. Then it goes to the next person. They don't want to take those particular rides. So why wouldn't you just keep them all separated? And then that way, if you want to uncheck it or check it, then you're not going to get those rides. It just depends.
Yeah. So there's a good question about the Uber EV shaving thing. Chuck driver, great driver from Philly area. Actually, we did it behind the wheel with Chuck. Okay, I cannot say too much about how they calculated it, certain reasons, but all I can say to you is, see, these are tough questions to answer because they're watching. How did Uber calculate each driver's refund for EV shaving? As usual, the money came in with a little sentence saying, if you drove an EV between 2022 and 2023, you got your money. That's it. That's the same way, Chuck, they do it. The money just shows up with no explanation. It's vague, no breakdown, trip by trip. You got gypped 35 cents on this one. You got gypped 25 cents on this one. They don't do it that way. When we caught them with the Prop 22 BS, okay, they did the same thing from DoorDash, Uber Eats, Uber, Lyft. Money just showed up saying, oh, Prop 22 adjustment. It was a one-liner. I got money on that one too. So they don't break it down. They don't tell you what it is, how they do it. They just say, trust me, it's right. I'm like, I don't know what else to say.
I would rather prefer to do my own audit, but
well, we did the audit, and that's when they got busted. Anyway, so back to team.
No. I mean, like, if I was getting money back, I'd prefer to do my own audit. I'd like to go through each and every ride and see what's going on and make sure that the numbers actually.
But you know what's so difficult is because, Chris, the dollar EV was showing as a full dollar on the promo line. You know what I mean? So it's really difficult, and I'm glad they figured it out. Whatever they did, they did.
Maybe that's why it took so long. It took 10 months, is because they actually had to go through and figure out
millions of trips, probably,
to be able to do that.
Yeah, millions and hundreds of millions of trips, right? Yeah. Anyway, so that's done. So this teen thing, okay, I dug deep a little bit on this. So CPUC, which is the California Public Utilities Commission. Okay, I'm opted out. You guys want to do Uber teen? Knock yourselves out. I'm not against it. I won't do it. I will not have a 14-year-old, 15-year-old in my car at 3 a.m. It's just not going to happen. To me, because they can turn that into a carpool for teens, all the kind of, there's hypotheticals, but then, you don't want any of that headache for the same pay. If it was paying more, maybe I'd do it. So this showed up in my app. I toggled off. I'm opted out. But here's the point, Chris. I went into the CPUC website. Uber did not file any paperwork for teen. They didn't change anything. Okay. The CPUC does not regulate Uber, but in certain TNC parts, they do. Like this. There's a company called Hop, Skip, and Drive in California. It's operating. It's transporting children to school or teenagers to school and back from home and whatever. In fact, my wife is a Hop, Skip, and Drive driver. She does trips in the mornings, does a couple of school trips, and they pay well. Hop, skip, and drive wanted to do what Uber did without any, regular background check, just a photo upload, let's go, right? What does CPUC come back with, Chris? They say, no, 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 no. Since you're only going to be doing this service for children and teenagers, your drivers have to go through a fingerprint background check, drug test, and TB test, tuberculosis test. No joke. It took my wife literally 2.5 months to get on with hop, skip, and drive, and she did. Uber, on the other hand, all they did was they created this family account thing, right? So they put all the responsibility now on the parent and the driver, right? And there is not one area on CPUC, except there is one single word. CPUC says to Uber, if the amount of the business, total amount of the business that you're doing is primarily, that's the key word, primarily for adults, not only for, if it was only for children and teenagers, your drivers have to go through FBI fingerprint background check, all that stuff, and drug testing. Uber says, yeah, we'll just create a family account. We'll put the teenagers in the cars. So because of that single word that says primarily, and I'm pretty sure Uber's business is not primarily teenagers and kids, they got allowed to have, teenagers in cars and ordering food at all hours of the day. So I'm going to call the CPUC tomorrow, and I'm going to say, look, I don't want to be a pain in the ass for you, Uber. I don't like this product. There's too many holes in it. But I am just going to call and say, I'm an Uber driver. Am I okay to pick up, children, and without a fingerprint background check? And let's see what they say. So, I don't want it to end. I mean, look, this is, if you want to do it, go knock yourselves out and do it. But then if you read the small print, be really careful. Okay. I mean, there are some good safety guidelines in there. That's my app. I turned both off. There is follow my ride, and the teenager cannot edit the address. But the problem with this is the teenager can turn this single trip into a teenager pool trip. And we talked about this months ago. What the teenager can do now is she or he can go start picking up his or her friends. Now it's up to the driver. For those kids who do not have Uber Teen family account, now the driver has to vet those kids, saying, are you allowed to be, did your parents allow you to be in this car on this trip? Verbally, we have to do this. If we think they're under the age of 18, the unaccompanied minor rules apply, and we don't have to take him as a driver. But what is that going to create? Friction, automatic, right? There's a teenager in the car going somewhere, wants to pick up a couple of her friends or his friends, and I go, nope, you're not at the age of 18, your mother. And my thing is, God forbid you get in a crash. The parent goes, I never allowed my kid to be in a car. Right? And you're screwed as the driver. So look, you got to think about this. Worst things worst, you got to have a dash cam. At least you got to have a dash cam. So that's it. I'm not going to do it. If you guys want to do it, knock yourselves out. Do it.
Yep. Well, I think even if they do combine it all together and they take that toggle off, or you're not able to, at least you should see on the little ping screen, it'll say Uber Teen or Uber Comfort or whatever it is that's in there. So you are able to say, oh, I don't want to take a teen ride. All right, next one, decline.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it. But look, I think, and the other thing Uber did, which was nice, when they brought it to California, Chris, they put a limit. Actually, I have a teenager at home. I'm not going to use it, obviously, but he's my boy, my son, right? What they did is they pushed it in the app, as I'm a passenger as well, right? They pushed it in the app, and they gave me 3 choices. They said, there's a budget now. Each parent can set for their teenager to use Uber Eats or Uber Rides, monthly budget, right? So you can pick that. You can say unlimited, meaning then the teenager can do whatever they want. Or you can say this much, $100 a month on rides and food. Okay. or you can go customize it trip by trip by trip. So they gave me that 3 choices as the account holder of the family account, right? Easily what they could have done, which I've been saying this to Uber for months now, why don't you put a curfew, right? You know how we have on the destination filter, we have that clock that we can scroll up and down. We can set the destination filter for 4 hours. You should have given a curfew time, like a clock, to the parents. Okay, between 10 p.m. and 3 a.m., there is no the trips, and there's no food. So then the teenager cannot order the trip, right? I told them to do this. They haven't done it yet. Hopefully they'll listen and do it. But that's it.
Yeah, especially if there's a problem or anything that happens, gets national media attention. You want to prevent that before it even becomes a story.
Yeah. You
Robert,
don't want that.
Becoming a member. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Robert. Did we say thank you to Will? Yeah, we did, right? Okay, Will, thank you, man.
All right.
Yeah, so there we go.
All right. So, yep. Opt in, opt out, up to you. Just be aware of the rules, the changes.
Read the
And
small
then
print,
remember,
please.
if
Read
it
the
does
small
not
print.
say Uber teen and there's a teen that shows up, it still goes to the unaccompanied minor. So don't take that particular ride only unless it says Uber teen. And if they're under 13, well, guess what? Same thing. Rules apply there. It's only 13 to 17. So it's going to be up to you if you want to take those rides or not. Just be aware of those extra rules that are with it.
No, I mean, I'm just kind of, concerned that Hop, Skip, and Drive has to put their drivers through all that, right? And then and Uber just says these are highly rated drivers. Okay, fine, whatever that means. And the other thing Uber says, okay, these drivers, it says to the parent, which I saw, it's in my app. It says they have gone through local screening. That makes me feel better, which I know. I have teen Uber. I have not been through a local screening. I don't know what you guys are talking about. So, I mean, you know what I mean, Uber. So, but we'll find out tomorrow. Look, I don't want to get rid of Uber teen. I'm sure a lot of parents are busy. They need to send their kids to school, whatever. But I think it has to be scrutinized a little bit more. That's all.
Yeah, I agree. Just to kind of close up those holes before they become problems. Just being proactive in this case.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you'll be notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.